Alright guys, right now I'm just at Walmart. I just used their free air pump on the side of their Walmart center, as you can see here. They have a little free air hose, and I like to take advantage of that. So I put 36 PSI into the front wheel, 42 in the rear. That's what it calls for in the manual. I have the repair manual for this bike. And I just kind of do a little side-to-side action, kind of pretending like I'm a race bike or a race car. And it is pretty cold out, so I'm having fun right now. I'm really enjoying this bike. Go ahead and pull around to the front of the store. And yeah, it's super windy. There's some flags on top of the store, but I think that we may have passed them. No, okay, never mind. They're not flags on top of this store. It's on top of the store across the street, which is Menards. But the flags were like completely sideways, meaning the wind was really strong. Well, here's a flag right here. You can see it. There is one flag there, but yeah. So it's cold. My heated seats do not work on this bike. So I'm going to try to see if there is some kind of a seat cover type deal that I can put on the seat and have a heated seat, because I plan on riding this bike for a little bit longer. Even if it snows, I plan on riding it as long as the snow is not accumulated. Obviously, you know, if there's 2 or 3 inches of snow, I'm not going to ride a motorcycle. You could, but I don't see a point when I have all-wheel drive vehicles for that. So just chilling here. I think I edited some of this out because I was sitting at this light for quite a while. So yeah, I'm just kind of looking around, taking in the temperature. It's cold as crap. Well, to me it's cold as crap. I like riding when it's more like 80 degrees out, but hey, I get to take advantage of my full gear in this weather because I don't sweat to death. But yeah, I'm just cruising, and there's a guy in this blue car who he sees my bike and automatically like wants to race, and obviously his car is not gonna keep up with his motorcycle, but maybe, hey, you know, everybody has that spirit in them. They see something fast, they automatically just want to go fast and pretend like they're racing. So I kind of give in to the temptation once we get up to this stoplight. This guy literally like ran through the stoplight trying to get like some kind of a head start, or I don't know what the hell was going on, but I gave into it and showed him a little bit of speed, and then I just kind of started cruising again. So here it comes. You see it? Watch. He's not going to stop at all. He's just going to keep going. Even when the light was red, he just kept going. So, yep, squidding alert. And I get on it for a little bit. And yeah, this is super fun. Even the wind blowing at you, it's cold as shit, but you're having so much fun that you don't really care. The wind doesn't bother you too much. Now, I just put this sped up at 1.5 times speed, just because this is kind of a boring section, but I knew that I was going to be doing a voiceover, so I said, well, instead of just having this run at normal speed in this boring part, I'll just run it a little faster. I did think this was a cop car or a police vehicle at first, because this is what our police department uses, is the Ford Explorer. So I was trying to not break the law in front of a police vehicle. But yeah, I'm just cruising, doing the speed limit. A little over. I don't want to say I'm doing over the speed limit. I'm doing about roughly the speed limit here. Traffic is more stop and go in this area, which is still not as bad as it normally is. Normally this is all full of cars. Like, you couldn't even get over. There's so many cars lined up. So traffic's not too bad on this day. I don't mind getting a little cruise in. And yeah, so this is, like I said, a boring part, but I knew that I was going to be doing a voiceover, so that's why I just went ahead and left this on here. I've only had this bike for maybe a month now. Man, time flies. Yeah, I've had this bike for about a month now. And, you know, like I said, I bought the Honda Shadow. I started off with the Rebel 250, believe it or not. So, I hadn't rode in over 20 years. I bought a Rebel 250, paid, you know, $2,500 for that. Rode that for about a month. I think I put, in that 1 month, I think I put about 600 miles on that bike. I mean, I was riding it everywhere. And I do miss that bike. It was pretty fun, but obviously it was underpowered. Like, you had to wring that thing out just to kind of deal with this traffic here. So I ended up trading that in, and I got a Honda Shadow Spirit 750. That keeps up with traffic, no issues. But it's still kind of a slow bike. I took it on the interstate once and didn't really, I mean, I had that thing's pretty maxed out on the interstate. So, meaning if you needed to pass or something like that, like, it didn't really have the guts to really do much on the interstate. So I just kept that one in the city. But then I seen this one on Facebook Marketplace for a good deal. And I researched it. I researched everything. I watched a ton of YouTube videos, and everybody was giving this bike a good review. I didn't see any reviews that had a negative for this bike. They were pretty much all positive. So I went ahead and bought this bike, and I can see why the reviews are positive. This is a very enjoyable bike. It's not the most fuel efficient. But you're also talking about a 4-cylinder, you know, 130 horsepower bike. So you're not gonna expect to get a far distance out of this one. I would say that's probably the only somewhat con to this bike is the fuel economy. I mean, my other bikes, even the Shadow, you know, I can ride that bike for a long time before I need fuel. But this one, it takes quite a bit of fuel, and I may get another 250. I don't know. I'm planning on selling the Honda Shadow, just because I don't use it, and I feel somebody else can enjoy that. So I'll probably be selling that bike next spring, and I'll be riding this as a main bike. But I wouldn't mind getting another 250 just as a commuter, like to and from work and whatnot. This bike is good for to and from work, but like I said, it has about the same fuel economy as a car, you know. And if you get, you know, a bike that's a 250, you're talking 60 plus, you know, well, I don't want to say 60 but 50 plus miles per gallon, versus this one is only getting, you know, 36 miles per gallon. I think is probably the max, but I'm thinking I'm only getting like 22, 26 miles per gallon. And that's not the fault of the bike. That's just because I like to enjoy this bike, if you know what I'm saying. So it's definitely seeing red lines when I'm riding this bike. So the fuel economy is not the best at all, but hey, this thing you will have a smile on your face for sure with this bike. And really, realistically, I wasn't sure that I would like this style of bike. I thought for sure I was a hardcore cruiser type guy, but after I rode this, I'm like, yeah, this is definitely more of my style here. Nothing against cruisers. I have nothing against cruisers. I love cruisers, but yeah, this bike is definitely more. This one suits me better. I'll say that. You can easily ride 2 up on this. You have plenty of power. The interstate, you can ride this thing on the interstate, no joke. No worries. You have so much power. You don't have to worry about passing or anything. Plus, this is a full fairing bike, so you're not being blasted with the wind like it's trying to push you off the bike. You don't have that feeling on this bike. So I definitely want to take this thing on some trips, maybe take it on the interstate to another city, just kind of road trip this bike and vlog with it. So we'll probably be doing that next year. I don't think I'm going to be doing that in this colder weather, but yeah, once we start getting it in the next spring and next summer when the weather warms up a bit, we might stretch the legs on this thing and ride a couple 100 miles or whatnot. So this is an old St. Joe hospital right here. This hospital's been in Fort Wayne forever, and they're slowly tearing it down. So that's a sight to see, if you will. And there's a ton of construction going on downtown. So this is the only reason why we're taking this route. As you can see earlier in the video, that roundabout was at a complete stop. Traffic is just so backed up. And this person, I believe, is a student driver or something, because I think they were only going like 25 or 30 miles per hour. I mean, they were barely moving. They were moving at a snail's pace. So, we do a motorcycle move here and we get around this slow poke, and it should be coming up here soon. So we're gonna get around this slow poke and get some open road in front of us. There we go. You didn't see nothing. nothing to see there. But yeah, we're just enjoying this ride. You can see, look, take notice of the sky. You see it's like barely any clouds and it's really sunny. That goes away in like 20 minutes, because I think this ride was, I think I rode for about 40 minutes. I don't think I have the full ride on here, but by the time I got back home, rain was falling. You see how the sky looks now? Yeah, 20 minutes from now, it's like the sky's completely gray and it starts raining. And being in the rain and in 50-degree weather, not so fun on a motorcycle. So luckily we dodged a bullet on that. I'm sure there's a lot of hardcore riders that are like probably rode in 40-degree weather with a rainstorm and they're tough. Hey, I'm not knocking you, not doubting you, but if I can avoid it, I will avoid it. To me, I just don't see the point in doing that, especially when I have other vehicles. So yeah, I'm not gonna purposely put myself in bad situations, but hey, sometimes it happens. There's a time where I was riding, and in my city there was no rain, it was clear, but I went to the next city and it was raining there, and obviously I didn't know until I got there, so we did get wet, but I'm not gonna purposely do that, so yeah, we're above downtown. We're still downtown, but we're moving more towards the north side of town at this point. And yeah, we're just cruising it, taking our time. This, like I said, is a boring ride, but I figured I would get on here and do my little voiceover just to get comfortable with it. I don't have anything written down. There's no cheat sheet or cards, or I don't have an outline or anything. This is just kind of a freestyle vlog video. getting used to it. I plan on doing more vlog videos, and I plan on getting a lot better at them. I may actually write down notes on things I want to talk about, because I don't know how long I will keep this bike. In this short period of time, in 3 months, I've had 3 bikes just in 3 months. So I've really only keep a bike for a month or so. This one I may hang on to for a little bit longer, but I'm looking into the future, like a year from now, 2 years from now. What's the next bike gonna be? And after riding this, I'm thinking that I'm leaning more towards a newer BMW bike, 2009, or maybe even a 2016 or something like that. I don't quite want to buy a brand new one, because for all the motorcycles that I bought in the 3 months, I paid cash for them. There's no loan or anything like that. I just get the cash out and pay for them. So I kind of like that, just getting it over with. So that's why I'm like, I could probably get a 2009 and pay cash, $6,000 or $8,000, whatever. But if I'm going to do payments, then I probably would do a newer bike. But I don't know. At this time, I don't want to do payments on a motorcycle. Nothing against anybody who's doing payments or whatnot, but I like to pay cash for them and just own it and just be done with it. So like this one is a bike I paid cash. Like I said, all my bikes so far I paid cash for them, regardless of the price. The Honda Shadow was the most that I've spent, and that was about $4,600 that I paid cash for that. This bike I paid less than that, but this is the one I